Hello everyone! For this podcast, I'm going to talk about a current event that connects to chapters 1 through 5. I picked this topic because it's something that keeps popping up in the news, and honestly, before taking this class, I didn't really think about why it works the way it does. I'm going to be talking about gun laws, especially how states can pass stricter laws than the federal government. And at first, that kind of confused me because I always thought federal laws was supposed to be like the final word. But after learning about federalism, separation of powers, and individual rights, it's actually started to make more sense. So I'm going to explain the issue, connected to what we learned in class, and also talk about how it changed the way I think about government and citizenship. So basically, the federal government sets basic gun laws, mostly through Congress and Supreme Court rulings tied to the Second Amendment, which protects the right to bear arms. But states are allowed to go further and pass their own laws, as long as they don't directly violate the Constitution. That's why some states have stricter background checks or limits on certain firearms, while other states choose not to add more restrictions. This matters because it affects public safety, individual rights, and even how people feel about their government. It also shows that government power in the US is shared, not centralized, which can be frustrating sometimes, but it's also kind of the point. Before this class, I honestly thought that the federal government had the final say on most issues. I didn't really understand how much power states actually have. After learning about federalism and constitutional principles in chapters 1 through 5, it made more sense why states don't all follow the same policies. It also changed how I think about citizenship. Being a citizen isn't just about having rights. It's about understanding which level of government it is responsible for what. It also made me realize why people get involved at the state level, like voting in state elections or paying attention to state laws, because those decisions can affect your daily life more directly than federal ones. This topic also connects really well to separation of powers and checks and balances. Congress can pass gun-related laws, but the president can support or veto them. Then the judicial branch, especially the Supreme Court, can decide whether those laws are constitutional. At the same time, courts can strike down states' laws if they go too far, which is another example of checks and balances in action. No branch or level of government gets unlimited power, even if they believe they're acting in the public best interest. Learning this made me realize that the system is meant to slow things down and force debate, even when that feels inefficient. Federalism is probably the clearest concept in this issue. The federal government creates a baseline of rights, but states respond differently based on their political culture and political opinion. For example, in states like Texas, gun ownership is often viewed as part of personal freedom and state identity, so laws reflect that. In other states, there's more emphasis on regulation and prevention. This really helped me understand why living in different states can feel like living under completely different rules, even though we're all under the same constitution. Overall, this topic helped me understand that American government isn't supposed to be simple or fast. It's designed to balance power, protect rights, and allow different voices to matter. Chapters 1 through 5 showed me that disagreement between states and federal government isn't a failure in the system. It's actually evidence that the system is working the way it was designed to. I also realized that understanding these concepts makes following the news way less confusing. Instead of just reacting emotionally, I can see why conflicts happen and which parts of the government are involved. And honestly, that's probably the biggest thing this class has changed for me. It made government feel more real, more relevant, and less like something that only matters during elections. But anyways, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.